hiyo fupi. Mheshimiwa Rais, kumradhi kwa kuruka waheshimiwa kadha wa kadha katika serikali yako.
Also Ambassador Dr. Moses Kusiluka, Chief Secretary, and Mr. Majula Maendeka, Permanent Secretary in State House. Once again, Your Excellency, it is now my pleasure to invite Honorable Ambassador Mahmoud Thabit Kombo to welcome Her Excellency Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan, President of the United Republic of Tanzania, to deliver her address.
Your Excellency, Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan, President of the United Republic of Tanzania, I did address the Chief Secretary, but I also apologize I didn't see your PS Majura Mahendeka. Maybe you can stand so that the whole world sees you today, because the world is around here today in one room in Dodoma. Asante sana Chief Secretary, asante sana PS Mahendeka. As I said earlier, today is not my stage for speaking. The distinguished heads of missions, representatives of regional and international organizations present here today, the high commissioners and ambassadors, together with all other esteemed guests that Your Excellency have invited, are keen and eagerly ready to hear you. And therefore, it is my distinct honor to welcome you, Madam Excellency Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan, to address this very special occasion of the diplomats. Karibu sana Mheshimiwa Rais, kwa heshima na taadhima naomba kukaribisha. Asante.
May we please take our seats. Honorable Ambassador Mahmoud Thabit Kombo, Mr. for Foreign Affairs and East African Cooperation, and the whole team, management and the team from the ministry. Ambassador Dr. Kusiluka, the Chief Secretary of the government, Principal Secretary, the President's Office, Majura Mahendeka, Excellencies, Your Excellency Dr. Ahmad Al-Badawi Mohamed Faki, Ambassador of the Union of Comoros and the Dean of the Diplomatic Corps, Excellencies, heads of diplomatic missions and international organizations, and other members of the Diplomatic Corps, distinguished guests, members of the press, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Excellencies, in the spirit of friendship, allow me to once again welcome you to the State House here in Chamwino, Dodoma, to our annual diplomatic gathering. I'm not sure if this time we call it a Shweri party or just a gathering. The first ever to be held here in our capital city. Thank you for honoring my invitation. And as we begin 2026, I extend my warmest wishes for the new year to you and the global leaders you present. I'm aware that there are high commissioners, ambassadors, and representatives of international organizations who have joined the diplomatic community since our last gathering. I warmly welcome you and assure you of my personal and the government's full support during your tour of duty in the country. Excellencies, we meet at a time when the international environment remains complex. Conflicts persist, economic uncertainty continues to affect many societies, and climate shocks are increasingly frequent and disruptive. In such a world, Tanzania remains firmly convinced that dialogue, cooperation, and multilateral solutions are indispensable, and the value of diplomacy is not ceremonial, it is essential. The past year has been impactful and one of profound transition, not only for us, but for our neighbors and allies. In memoriam, we pause to honor the prominent global icons who have passed away this last year. Their contributions to development will forever be etched in our history. We extend our deepest condolences to their nations while their legacies challenge us to lead with greater purpose. On the other hand, we have witnessed the wind of change, and we have watched with keen interest the various elections across our continent. We congratulate the newly elected governments in our brotherly nations. Tanzania stands ready to work with these new administrations to strengthen African Union's vision of an integrated and prosperous continent. We note with satisfaction the prevailed democratic resilience across the globe. Despite our own challenges, we celebrate the peaceful transition of power seen in friendly nations abroad, including some of your own countries. Their success provides us with a roadmap for our own institutional reforms. As you are aware, diplomacy is deeply rooted in mutual respect, and I wish to take this moment to extend my warmest congratulations to all nations celebrating their national days this month. Tanzania celebrates with you. Your progress inspires our own, and your friendship is a pillar of our foreign policy. Excellencies, the past year was a significant chapter in Tanzania's journey. Economic diplomacy remained central to Tanzania's foreign policy, with government's efforts focused on attracting investment, strengthening public-private partnerships, and expanding priority sectors to drive economic growth, create employment, and promote inclusive development. My administration remains committed to further unlocking our economy by, among other things, empowering the private sector. Looking ahead, we'll pay particular attention to the blue and green economies, logistics, manufacturing, and digital landscape. Furthermore, we are eager to harness our extractive sector, including natural gas, iron, steel, and critical minerals to drive national development. Excellencies, as you are aware, we successfully conducted our 7th democratic election, achieving a milestone with nearly 44% women representing in the National Assembly, and the election was solely financed through domestic resources. This underscored national ownership, institutional maturity, and the government's commitment to self-reliance in managing democratic processes. Despite these remarkable achievements, with heavy hearts, we acknowledge the challenges of the unrest and violence on the election day and shortly thereafter. Our response was essential to maintain constitutional order and ensure safety of all citizens and diplomatic community. To our partners in the diplomatic community and the foreigners residing here in Tanzania, I express my sincere sympathy for the uncertainty, service disruption, and internet shutdowns you experienced. I assure you, we remain vigilant to ensure your safety and prevent any repeat of such experiences. Excellencies, democracy is a journey of growth. Every political system contains grievances. It is clear that there is no global formula for these unique challenges, and we must afford each other the space to learn and grow with humility. To those who send solidarity and congratulatory messages, we thank you. To those who didn't, we take note of your feedback too. I ask your friends of goodwill to lend their support to our reforms. And to those who may not share our vision, I ask that you at least respect our sovereignty. The voice of Tanzanians has been heard through the ballot box, and that voice must be respected. To foster national healing, or in order to foster national healing, I've undertaken the following steps. 1, establishment of the Ministry of Youth under President's office to institutionalize the image of our next generation. But 2, pardoned 1,787 convicts associated with the unrest and violence of 29th October last year. 3, constituted an independent commission of inquiry in accordance with our Constitution. And lastly, pledged to establish a Truth and Reconciliation Commission to proceed our new constitution process. My administration is resolved to use this second term to repair, rebuild, and renew our nation. To my fellow Tanzanians, the discord we witnessed is not who we are. It's not at all. To our international partners, we recognize that stability is the currency of diplomacy. Today, I plead that our path forward will be paved with the stones of justice, dialogue, and a renewed respect for the democratic process. And in this regard, allow me to quote philosopher Søren Kierkegaard, who once said, "Life can only be understood backwards, but it must be lived forwards." In this context, as a country, we understand the mistakes of our past, but our eyes are fixed firmly on the future. Excellencies, Tanzania remains one of the Africa's fastest growing economy, with almost 6% GDP growth and inflation maintained at a stable 3.3%. In addition, the national debt continues to be sustainable, with the debt to GDP ratio currently standing at 48.2%, below the threshold of 55% for low-income countries. As for our capital markets, the Dar es Salaam Stock Exchange saw market capitalization rise by 34.3%, reaching billions of Tanzanian shilling, about 23,995 by year end. In addition, we have continued to enjoy favorable credit score, B1 from Moody and B+ from Fitch credit rating. This stable outlook signals investors' confidence, lower borrowing costs, and economic resilience, which marks a positive step in building international confidence and attracting more foreign direct investment. We endeavor to ensure continued governance reforms, reducing foreign currency shortages, and improving the tax to GDP ratio. The favorable credit ratings and stable economic outlook led to registration of 927 new investment projects by December 2025, with a combined value exceeding $11.09 billion, representing a significant 19.03% increase compared to the previous year. The registration of these projects in 2025 stands at the record of the highest number of projects registered in calendar year since the establishment of the Tanzania Promotion Agency, breaking the record of 905 projects last year. On these 927 projects, 66, equivalent to 7.12%, are expansion projects demonstrating sustained confidence by existing investors in Tanzania's growth trajectory and its investment climate. Collectively, the 927 projects are expected to generate more than 162,895 new jobs for Tanzanians, while foreign direct investment FDI remained robust. Local investors' participation also remained strong, with 288 projects, equivalent to 31.07%, expected to be implemented by domestic investors, reflecting growing confidence among Tanzanian entrepreneurs. To our investors, we pledge to ensure the existing and new investments are protected and secured. On the other hand, in 2025, we continued with our industrialization journey, and we have experienced a rise in key economic sectors. The leading sectors include agriculture, of which its productivity continued to grow, with the food self-sufficiency ratio standing at 128% in 2024-25, reflecting a growth of around 3.2% over the period. In mining, we witnessed a further surge in activity, with mineral production increasing by 48.27 from 10.6 trillion in 2023-24 to 15.8 trillion in 24-25. The percent driven largely by gold, coal, building and industrial material. We are leveraging the 47.27% surge in mineral production witnessed in 2024-25 to bolster our national economic security. We now require large-scale miners to refine and sell at least 20% of their gold to the central bank to bolster our foreign reserves. We have also witnessed notable growth in the tourism sector, with receipts rising from $1.3 billion in 2021 up to $4 billion in third quarter of 2025. Furthermore, Tanzania was honored as the world's leading safari destination 2025 at the World Travel Awards, reaffirming our standing as a premier global destination for wildlife and nature-based tourism. This recognition attests to our strong commitment to conservation, high-quality service delivery, and suitable tourism development, while further strengthening investor and visitor confidence in Tanzania as a safe, attractive, and rewarding destination. To further promote tourism, trade, and connectivity across the African continent, Air Tanzania expanded its route network in 2025 to key destinations and supporting the growth of intra-African tourism. We remain focused on expanding our connectivity, accelerating infrastructure development, and diversifying tourism offerings as we position Tanzania as a regional hub for tourism, trade, and logistics in Africa. Excellencies, this year marks the launch of Tanzanian Development Vision 2050, or Dira 2050, aiming for double-digit economic expansion through productivity gains in agriculture and industrial value addition. In this regard, we will also prioritize new economic frontiers by unlocking the blue economy, green economy, logistics, and digital landscape. Key focus will also be placed on harnessing natural gas, and our efforts will be geared toward the finalization of the $42 billion liquefied natural gas project, which will position Tanzania as a major player in the global energy market. On the other hand, the country is building an enabling environment that will attract investment, innovation, and promote local value addition in the critical mineral sector. Our drive will be towards promoting responsible investment that power the technologies of tomorrow, support the global energy transition, industrial development, and ensure direct benefits for Tanzanians. We invite governments, private sector actors, and development agencies to come partner with us in this key sector. My government is committed to managing these resources responsibly, transparently, and inclusively. I note with great enthusiasm the recent G20 endorsement of the critical minerals agenda. Tanzania fully supports this initiative and stands ready to engage actively with international partners to ensure that these resources contribute both global clean technologies and inclusive growth at home. Excellencies, as we all know, to unlock the economy, we need to invest in key infrastructure projects. Work is still going on to ensure completion of the standard gauge railway and the East African crude oil pipeline, which is set for completion in July 2026. The completion of Julius Nyerere hydropower plant and the operationalization of the SGR are not just engineering milestones, but engines of our new mineral economy. We are also putting a strong emphasis on value addition, export capacity, and job creation through the special economic zones by linking infrastructure and industrial ecosystems. Our message is clear. Tanzania is moving from exporting raw potential to exporting the value-added commodities. Within this strategy, ports and trade gateways play a critical role. Furthermore, we are advancing strategic projects, including Bagamoyo and its associated industrial ecosystem, not for prestige, but to unlock trade, industry, and competitiveness. Our infrastructure agenda is designed to serve Tanzania and the wider region as a platform for shared growth. Excellencies, as our economy diversifies and scales, human capital remains at the heart of our development strategy and the ultimate guarantee of our national resilience. Tanzania youth are the heartbeat of our 10% growth target. Vision 2050 has set a clear path to their prosperity. We moved beyond rhetorics by establishing the Ministry of Youth under my office, a strategic move to institutionalize their energy and directly integrate them into a $1 trillion economic vision. We now invite the international community to partner with us in transforming this youthful passion into skilled human capital, and that will drive our national transformation. We are cognizant of the fact that a competitive economy is impossible without a healthy workforce in building a dynamic and a healthy human capital. Tanzania fundamentally transitioning from a reliance on health aid toward a strategic focus on health investment. As a core pillar of our 2026 foreign policy, our vision for a $1 trillion economy is inseparable from our rollout to universal health insurance and resilient medical infrastructure. So I take this opportunity to invite the diplomatic community to move beyond traditional assistance and instead engaging with us in medical diplomacy by supporting our ambition to become a regional hub for specialized care. We intend to leverage the high reputation of institutions like Jakaya Kikwete Cardiac Institute to attract both medical as well as sustainable tourism. Simultaneously, I call for the facilitation of technology transfer to support our newly launched Pharmaceutical Investment Acceleration Program, which includes a Greenland fast-track approval system to attract investors and expedite decisions related to licensing, regulation, and other approvals. We welcome investors to come and establish local manufacturing plants so as to drastically reduce our dependency on imported essential medicines. Excellencies, climate resilience is equally centrally to our agenda. To us, climate action is not an abstract debate. It is a development and security imperative. It is a development and security imperative to take a lead in green diplomacy. We'll operationalize our carbon credit market and our national clean cooking strategy to ensure that our transition to a green economy is both inclusive and gender responsive. And so I invite you to join us in Greenland partnerships that move beyond pledged aid toward the actual transfer of climate-smart technologies and predictable financing. Tanzania is ready to serve as a global carbon sink and a renewable energy hub, but this must be a partnership of mutual respect that protects our sovereignty while safeguarding our planet for the future generations. Excellencies, I note with satisfaction the great strides made in our bilateral ties with our various countries in the year 2025. We were privileged to undertake various high-level visits to your countries, and we also had the honor to welcome and host high-level dignitaries from your respective countries and across the world. Through these visits, we have significantly solidified and concretized our relations on areas of mutual interest. We will ensure effective implementation of the outcomes of these visits. More areas of cooperation are expected to emerge through the joint permanent commissions and joint cooperation commissions and other joint platforms. We value the partnership we have with your respective countries and organizations and appreciate the significant contribution in the implementation of our national development. Excellencies, allow me now to highlight key milestones we made with some of your countries. We remain grateful to the government of the People's Republic of China for the launch of the China-Zambia Prosperity Belt, the securing of the $1.4 billion of the revitalization of the historic Tazara Railway will not just honor the legacy of our two founding fathers, but position Tanzania as the primary logistics gateway to the entire SADC region. As we are modernizing this corridor, we invite more partners to join us in this prosperity belt where our geography, our youth, and our peace converge, extraction to secure high-value technology and thousands of industrial jobs for our youth. As for our partners in the United States, our collaboration on $2.1 billion project of the Kabanga Nickel project is a shining example of our not business as usual approach to bilateral cooperation by moving towards a final investment decision this year. We are not just opening the mine, but launching a modern green industrial revolution. We value these partnerships for its commitment to domestic refining and value addition, ensuring our resources are converted into high-quality jobs and shared prosperity. This spirit of openness and shared prosperity is precisely why our diplomatic family continues to grow. We warmly welcome the Slovak Republic and Republic of Hungary to the Tanzanian diplomatic community and the opening of their full-fledged embassies in Dar es Salaam marks a significant milestone in our commitment to deepening economic diplomacy and expanding strategic partnership across European continent. In this respect, through you, Excellencies, ambassadors, and high commissioners, on behalf of the government of Tanzania, I wish to extend our sincere gratitudes to your governments for the unwavering support that facilitated smooth bilateral engagements. Excellencies, fostering regionalism is one of the key principles of our foreign policy. We firmly believe in and appreciate the role of regional and sub-regional organizations in addressing regional challenges, be it development or peace and security challenges. As the host of the East African community, we remain committed to the East African Vision 2050, and we will continue to champion the Common Market Protocol and the promotion of Kiswahili as a regional lingua franca. Tanzania has successfully moved from a position of cautious protectionism to one of proactive leadership, facilitating free movement of goods, labor, and services that underpins the 2026 goal of a more unified and competitive